Hello friends, you're watching the official YouTube channel of AshEka Financial Planners. I am Sandeep and I wish you a very happy new year, and not just a happy new year but also a financially prosperous new year. I'm very delighted to be your partner in your personal financial planning all through the year, and I'm going to be coming up with multiple informative videos, something that you would really like and appreciate. First and foremost, thank you for watching this channel. Please subscribe and show your support. Today's topic, the very first topic of the year 2020, is why you need private health insurance. And I've deliberately underlined the word need because private health insurance is not just something that you want, but something that you absolutely need. There are 6 major reasons which I'm going to be discussing, and without much ado, let's get into the topic right away. The first reason why you need private health insurance is because of insufficient employer insurance. Quite often we think that, okay, we have an employer insurance and it's sufficient. What's going to happen to me? I know a couple of friends who have health insurance from their companies of just about 2 lakhs or just about 3 lakhs. And I'm sure we are aware that 2 or 3 lakhs could be severely insufficient if you get into some ailment. Unfortunately, you might need more insurance cover, and then you would have to pay from your pocket. While we hope that you do not ever enter into such a scenario, but you must always be aware that medical inflation is at about 15% every year. So costs are rising. What was a treatment that was about 1 lakh a few years back is much more. It's 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs in just about 5 or 6 years. So the costs are going up, and if you have an insurance which is just about 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, then for all you know, if you have some sort of a hospitalization, for example, you meet with an accident, or you have some sort of a serious ailment, God willing you should not face such a situation, but in case you do, all your savings might just vanish in thin air because you have insufficient coverage from your employer. And even at senior levels, I have seen employees who are at VP or vice president levels in multinational companies. They have coverage of about 5 or 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs, which is also a family floater. So there again, that could be a risk. So that is one major reason why you need additional private health insurance apart from your company's health insurance. The second reason, a very important reason, and many of us don't think about that, is that you can set aside your company's coverage specifically for your parents. And why do you have to do that? Well, company insurance comes with no strings attached. You do not have any waiting period. You do not have any exclusions. You do not have, basically it just covers you from day one for all kinds of hospitalizations, maybe excluding maternity sometimes, but it does cover all hospitalizations. Whereas if you take a private health insurance coverage for your parents, then they could have a waiting period of specific waiting period of 3 years or 4 years for certain illnesses, or some of their pre-existing illnesses may not be covered, or they might have to pay additional premium. So when you have a coverage of say 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs, whatever, why don't you set that aside completely for your parents so that you're totally at peace of mind? If your parents need any sort of hospitalization, your company is going to take care of that. But if you need something, you always have an additional private health insurance. So setting aside your company's coverage for your parents and getting yourself a private health insurance is a very sensible thing to do. Point number 3, gap in employment, or this bad word, pink slips, when you get fired. You must be hearing about all the firing that's happening in the IT sector in India of late. Multiple employees are being fired, 500,000, 10,000. It's scary, and you know. And also about gap in employment. I know a friend who joined another company, got a better role, got a better salary, a higher designation, but he had to wait for a month for his pre-employment verification to be done. He didn't particularly want to wait for that 1 month, but he had no choice. So he was technically not employed with that company for that 1 month. And God forbid something happened at that point of time, if he needed a hospitalization, or his family member, anybody, he would have spent a lot of money. Quite often you do tend to have gaps, maybe by choice, maybe by circumstance, maybe this thing happens, you're given a pink slip and you have to find a job in another company, and you don't really find it very quickly. In that case, well, sorry, bad luck. If you have if there is a hospitalization in your family, it's going to be really, really difficult on you. So private health insurance at that point of time will really come to your help. So remember that. Early retirement, yeah. How often do you hear corporate employees these days say they want to work until 60? Quite a few of them are saying, I want to work until 45, work until 50, I want to retire early, I've burned out, or maybe I just want to start a company of my own, be an entrepreneur, or just earn enough money and retire early. What happens then? Once you retire, your company health insurance ceases and you will be left without any health insurance. And at that age, the chances of getting a few lifestyle diseases cannot be ruled out, right? So early retirement is a risk. Next point is the additional maternity cover. Quite often you have your employer give you health insurance and they say, okay, maternity 40,000 is what we can reimburse. Personally, 40,000 these days in a good hospital, I feel is not sufficient. When I had my child, my company was paying me 40,000 and my wife's company was paying me 40,000. So we could club that together and we could claim the entire expenses that were incurred during the child's birth. So if you have an additional health insurance, and many health insurance companies do give you maternity cover as well in some of their policies, you could club these two insurance policies and claim the entire amount of your maternity cover. In the year 2015, in a hospital called Motherhood in Bangalore, a normal delivery package was about 80,000 to 85,000 rupees, between that 80 to 85,000 rupees. Cloud9? I'm sure it's much more in Cloud9. So if you want to go to any of these well-established or well-known hospitals, be rest assured even normal delivery could take up to about 80,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees. If your company is covering you just for 40,000 rupees, then you might have to shell out a little more. And this is for normal delivery. So if the delivery of the baby is a little more complicated, maybe a C-section or maybe something else, then yeah, they're your expenses. You know how high it could go. Finally, lifelong coverage. How important that is. Your company covers you until you work with them. Most private companies, you retire at the age of 60. And after that, you're left without any health coverage. Now, what happens after that when you're beyond 60 and the chances of you having diseases or hospitalization is much more high? When you apply for an insurance at that age, insurance companies may outright reject your claim, or they may load you with extra premium because of the risks they're taking on you, or they may have some permanent exclusions. It is going to be very, very risky. You don't want your retired life to be ruined with a major hospitalization without any health insurance. Let me tell you about my father's case. My father was about 70 plus when he had a major hospitalization. Luckily, he was covered with health insurance. At the age of 70, had I gone to a health insurance company for a private health insurance, I wouldn't have got it, because the maximum entry age in most companies is 65 years. After 65, you cannot even get a health insurance when you start, Whereas, if you take a private health insurance before that, when you're younger and you keep paying your premiums, which are just not too much, it covers you for lifetime until you live on this earth. And that becomes very, very important when you are in your retirement age, because you don't want to be depending on your children for funding your medical expenses. Sometimes, unfortunately, the children themselves may not be in a position to pay for your hospitalization. And what happens then? I mean, I leave it to your interpretation. I have personally seen many cases when children are not able to afford medical treatment for their parents, and parents don't have medical expenses. And what happens after that is anybody's guess. Lifelong coverage is, I would say, a God's gift when it comes to health insurance. That's the 6 major reasons why I think you need private health insurance. Remember, health insurance is something that you should get when you don't want it. It's not something that you get when you want it, because when you want it, companies may not give it to you. I had come across a friend's friend who felt that, no, I don't need health insurance. We had spoken to her, we had explained the importance of health insurance. She said, no, what is going to happen to me? Within a couple of months, her son was diagnosed with some illness and he needed a surgery, and she had come to me, hey, look, my son needs a surgery in another couple of weeks and I want a health insurance. Can you give it? Yeah, we could give you a health insurance. I mean, not we, the company could give you a health insurance, but there is a cooling period of at least 30 days. In the first 30 days, you cannot claim any sort of health insurance reimbursement or cashless unless it's an accidental hospitalization. So what happened? She had to shell out money from her own pocket. So you don't get it when you need it. So you need to get health insurance when you don't really want it. When you're young, when you're healthy, and when you're already working, when you already have your company's health insurance, you have to get yourself a private one to be in peace, to have peace of mind if something goes wrong, and if, God forbid, you have a hospitalization. Sorry to sound blunt, but yes, this is the fact about health insurance. I'm going to be talking about health insurance in depth in the next couple of video clips as well. What kind of policies exist? What are the companies that you can approach? AshEka Financial Planners is officially partnered with 2 of India's biggest health insurance providers, Max Bupa and HDFC Ergo. Apollo Munich has been taken over by HDFC Ergo, so technically we cover Apollo Munich as well. So if you would like to get yourself a very good health insurance policy, we could give you some very good quotes. So please get in touch with us via comments, or you could also email us at hello@asheka.in. That is HELLO@asheka, ASHEKA.in. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more such video clips in the coming few days. Once again, thank you so much for watching. It was an absolute delight. Have a great year. See you soon.